in one go, Rapido is taking on Ola, Uber, now Swiggy, Zomato, Zepto. अब्बास भाई soft spoken तो है.
Did you just call me soft spoken?
Yeah. No?
No, I should just record this and let my team hear it.
I think what changed the game was bringing two-wheelers into the picture. Bikes, right?
Yes. India has always been the land of two-wheelers. Why don't we leverage this existing infrastructure to create a commute?
Now you've entered a space which is all about, cash up in films. You want to get into delivery and quick commerce.
Entry into this was more a strategic move. For us, our simple motto is this. How can I ensure that this captain who's coming on my platform earn more?
But you even ended up learning Korean. How do you use those skills now?
I've actually quit my job while I was on a business trip in Korea.
How did you say I quit in Korean?
Nakuman desaya.
One of the most competitive spaces right now is the mobility space. And one player that is quickly making strides and managed to disrupt quite a duopolistic market is Rapido. I'm speaking today on the Disruptors with Pavan, who is one of the co-founders. Pavan, thank you so much for coming in and joining in and submitting yourself to our questions on the Disruptors.
Thank you so much, Taman. I'm actually pleasured to be here and excited to be here.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with the name of your company, Rapido, and how you think you have disrupted the space, which is dominated, of course, the mobility space by two big players, Uber, which is an international brand, Ola, which has come much before you. I think what changed the game was bringing two-wheelers into the picture, bikes, right?
Yes. So quickly about the name, Rapido, we wanted to have a name that suggests something that is safer and quick, not just fast, not just quick. So Rapido in Spanish, it means swift. So we wanted to give that sense of smooth ride when a user is taking. And coming to the choice of two-wheelers, for us at Rapido, one of our mission is to actually create impact on billions of lives. What we have seen back in 2015 when we started Rapido was, while there was a ride-sharing revolution going on, a lot of common people are still struggling to get a vehicle or still, hopping on the footboard of the buses or Mumbai locals. We realized how can we make the existing transportation even more affordable and a bit more convenient. India has always been the land of two-wheelers. 200 million two-wheelers for almost a population of 1.4 billion. It almost averages out that every family actually owns a bike. We realized if all these bikes are anyways on the road, 95% of these bikes actually have a single passenger who is the driver who's driving that bike. We said, why don't we leverage this existing infrastructure to create a commute? Not just in the top cities, 7-10 cities of this country, which are Delhi's and Bangalore's, but also in the smallest of the cities, let's say Siliguri, Patiala, Jorhat. Yeah, that has been our inspiration.
But let me come back to what you started with. You've made it clear it's Rapido, it's not rapid, because you're saying swift along with safety. So speed and safety.
Safety.
The idea of a two-wheeler as a mode of transport, especially when you're hiring a mode of transport, is not necessarily seen as safe on top of the pyramid. You'll say, okay, it's faster, it's more economical.
Yes.
Not necessarily safe.
Yes. So that is exactly the perception that we wanted to break. If you quickly see, sometimes in your childhood, a lot of Indians would have already gotten on a bike. It might be with your father, with your brother, with your friend, whatnot. The only difference in Rapido is you are getting on the bike of a stranger. But this stranger is a verified, all checks done stranger who's driving your bike. We did not also wanted to call him a driver. We call our drivers as captains, exactly for this fact that that guy is responsible. That guy and the platform Rapido is responsible to take you to your destination safely. We knew that Rapido is the first player who is introducing the concept of bike taxi in this country. So this category itself, if it has to exist, then safety has to be its foundation. And hence we have gone multiple notches above what's required to ensure that it's safe. Just for a quick comparison, if you look at Rapido's current safety features, they are not just national best. They are sometimes the global standards. As simple as an Indian element. If you're a small town girl or a boy, right, and you are trying to go somewhere, your parents usually are worried. What do? They keep checking in on you. Hey, beta, did you reach? Did you reach properly or not? We said our platform needs to deliver that kind of safety. So we exactly did that. For any moment where there's an unexpected deviation or an unexpected stop, or if there is some trouble, the platform itself proactively calls the user and checks. Even before the customer is aware, the platform Rapido is aware and says, hey, are you safe? Let us know.
Okay, so safety features, you started, I think the disruptive element was bringing bike taxis into the picture when everyone was doing four-wheelers, and now, of course, everyone is across all categories.
Yes.
Yet, where are you in terms of market share? I think last I've seen, you are the number 2 player in most categories, in most locations.
Yeah, so as a platform, we are very proud to announce that we are the market leaders. Doing around 3.5 million rides every single day.
Market leaders, that means you have more rides per day than Ola and Uber?
We are currently leading the market, and we do more rides than all the other players in this industry. Yes, doing 35 lakhs rides across all the categories.
Wow, so that is huge. So in 10 years, you've climbed to the top.
Yes.
But this has not been an easy journey. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, 2015 is when Rapido started, but it took you 75 rejections to get someone to believe in your idea. Tell us about that.
So, back in 2015, there was already a ride-sharing revolution going on. Okay, there were players who are already trying to do it in four-wheelers, and everything is on the rise, right? So if you practically see any investor who can possibly fund a vision like this, a vision that can be very Indian solution, right? They were already invested in one or the other existing players.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a tough journey, but the team, my founders, my other founders, I think we all pulled along. So we persevered. And for us, as a team, for the founders, all three of us together, this is kind of a third startup that we have done together. And individually, this is my 8th startup that we have done. So we are not very strangers to rejection.
Used to rejection.
Yeah, we are made friends with the rejection. Yes.
Wow, that's the lesson.
Yeah.
To make friends with rejection and still continue to persevere.
Yes.
So tell me about how do you have 7 ideas that don't work and keep continuing to the 8th?
I think maybe because it never struck to me that there was a plan B. The only way that me and the founders, and in fact the entire team, the team of Rapido, the initial team of Rapido was working on a different startup idea, and the entire team transitioned into Rapido. And when we were doing the transition also, not even a single person in the room had the thought of, hey, is there another alternate option? The only thing that we could see was, if we need to make impact, this is actually a better opportunity. Let's go ahead and do it. What excited us was, if we are able to make a woman sit on a stranger's bike in a small town and make her go to her destination in a dim-lit street, make her safely reach her destination, we felt it was history worthy. 75 Indian years after independence, if we are able to give that sense of safety to a woman, we felt it's worth trying, even though we failed. And So we just continued.
Yeah, so no, that is the success part.
Yes.
Tell me about the 7 failures. What were all of these ideas?
So I was definitely very freshly graduated. I had my first job in Samsung, and I quit my job without a plan. And
How old were you when you decided?
22.
So at 1 minute. At 22, you have a job in Samsung.
Yes.
You have come out of IIT.
Yes.
Yeah. You're living the dream, right? This is the
Yes.
dream. You go
Yes.
to IIT, you get a good job,
Yeah.
and then you quit at 22.
Yeah. So because I went to IIT, more than me going to IIT, because I had the privilege of good education, I had the privilege of having great parents, great support system. I've realized if I, as an Indian, Indian youth, I'm not taking a risk, then I don't think I can expect the rest of the Indian youth to take a risk. But however, I did not have a plan. I did not have a team. So I ventured into some traditional industries, including real estate, mining, manufacturing tiles, marketing agency, and payments, logistics. So bunch of this, and I've
कोई sector छोड़ा नहीं.
Huh?
You tried everything. Didn't leave anything.
because I wasn't getting success in any sector. I'm like, at least one sector, please favor me.
No, but even there, it was a tough call. We spoke about it briefly. So you approached 75 investors, and everyone had perhaps the first question I had speaking to you. That,
Yeah.
You're coming as a third player
Yeah,
in a market where you have 2 dominant players.
yeah.
And you have to start from zero, and then you have to dominate. So congratulations, you're market leader today.
Yeah.
But it's a tough uphill task.
Yeah.
What is the pitch that finally worked?
I think what we truly believed is if we are able to provide a platform that is so flexible that anybody who has an intent to earn money and a bike, he is able to participate irrespective of his lifestyle, then we could create a supply that is unmatched. So Rapido today is actually known for its fulfillment or its ability to get you a ride when no one else can't. Rapido is the largest gig employer in the entire country. Over the last 10 years, we have employed more than 90 lakh people, and every month 20 lakh people actively earn income from our platform, which puts us literally in the top gig employer in the country.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. But just, coming back to how you managed to convince someone to take a bet on you, and it was Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us that story. Tell us about that meeting.
Yeah.
And how that went.
So we were in Delhi. Obviously, Mr. Pavan Munjal, he's been a stalwart in the auto industry, right? We were in Delhi and we were meeting the Hero's office, their family office, and what impressed Mr. Pavan Munjal is our idea of serving not just the tier 1 markets, but also the tier 2 and tier 3 markets, right? If you see, Hero is a champion in the smaller towns. They are the brand for the smaller towns also. So I think we kind of aligned on our vision, and fortunately, Mr. Pavan Munjal in his personal capacity got interested and said that he would want to support us. Yes.
So, and what was the harshest rejection you faced out of the 75? You don't have to take names,
Yeah.
but tell us that one sort of rejection which really got you down and you wondered, can I go on with this? Of course, you and your co-founders.
Yeah, so while we made friends with rejection, I really think every rejection actually hurts. So it's like, how do you say? There is no memorable breakup. I think there's no memorable rejection, or every alternatively, I think we remember every rejection.
Yeah.
We actually remember every rejection. But at the same time, definitely, some of the rejections we believe were also valid, and we learned from it. We tried to change things from the way that we were doing our business. We tried to be even more frugal, even more faster, even more innovative. Which is why if you see right now Rapido, the kind of features that they come up with, or even our latest business model change to becoming completely a SaaS player from the traditionally existing commission model. Like this became a DNA because we heard a lot of rejection saying, how can you do this? So then we decided we need to keep consistently push ourselves. So we said, let's keep changing, let's keep changing. Recently we have changed our commission model to a SaaS model.
Explain to me the difference between the two
Yes.
compared to your peers.
Yeah, so a simple commission model is, as a user and as a captain, I'll both get you on my platform, but I control everything. I control everything and try to complete your ride. Versus being a SaaS player means I give the technology, the tools that as a platform we develop to the captain and to the user, and we just connect them. Like in terms of pricing, Rapido does not determine the pricing. Because we are a technology provider, we have zero commission. So we don't charge per ride basis, commission and everything. What we do is, hey, you can use our platform for a day, for a week, for a month. Just pay us X amount. Whether you are earning 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees using our tools, it's up to you. And that is truly promoting an Indian entrepreneur, micro entrepreneur. And that is exactly what we did. What that has helped us, recently in the three-wheeler category, which we have entered in 2020, we are currently already the market leader in that category. We have entered cab in 2023, late 2023. Just within an year, Rapido does almost 500,000 rides every single day, and we are actually a market leaders in few key cities already.
In few keys, yeah, because
Yes.
cab ride is the holy grail, no, in that sense that you have to top.
A cab ride is the holy grail in terms of revenue, but in terms of users, in terms of rides, we definitely do believe that two-wheelers are going to be the bigger market.
But then you have some markets which have now said no more bike taxis.
I think over the course...
Was that a big setback? You know, your sector is also one which is very vulnerable to policy shifts.
Yeah.
Plus, market to market policy shifts.
Yes.
You can exist in some markets, you can not exist in some. You will face pushback, maybe not just from others in your space, but local cab drivers, local rules, etc. How do you navigate that? And when the whole bike taxi issue broke out, how did you deal with that?
Yeah. So if you see back in 2015 when we started, only Goa had the necessary regulation and framework. However, over the last 10 years, a lot of state governments and definitely the central government, both of them have recognized the power of bike taxi, both in offering a commute solution that is accessible to a common man, but the most importantly, the power of employment that it has. So, like I've just mentioned, Rapido as a company, we are one of the largest gig employers in the country. But bike taxi as an industry in itself, because all you need is a bike and the skill to drive, which is a kind of a life skill, that enables to create employment at almost zero cost, So right now, 10 states have already come up with a necessary framework and regulations to support this. We believe that the rest of the states, it's more a matter of time. And there are a lot of states that are progressively taking steps towards building regulations. But like you have said, if it is truly a disruption, I don't think disruption is ever created in a day.
Yeah. No, that's
Disruption
fair
and
enough.
history, they don't get created in a day. They get created if you're at it continuously, in this case for more than a decade, and that's what we hope to do.
So how long have you given yourself before you dominate the cab segment?
For us, more than dominating and market share, like I've mentioned, we are already the market leaders. Our sincere missions have been, there are almost 220 lakh autos on the road every day running. Okay, there are 25 lakh cabs every day running. But if you see the online penetration of in both these categories, it is hardly less than 10%. So we are now trying to see how can we enable them, which is why our recent innovation of SaaS is also revolutionary like that, because it is not just for us a growth model, it is a way for a lot of people, a lot of cab captains
Yeah.
who have not participated earlier to participate here.
But in the middle of all of this, and this sounds great, you know, making women feel safe, disrupting, providing employment. What about making profits?
So simple. I think as a mindset, all three founders and definitely a lot of the people that we hired also, we are all from middle class. We have this frugality mindset actually ingrained. And if you see, we started our business with two-wheelers, bike taxi, and we knew the amount of profit that we make per ride in each ride. It would be couple of pennies itself. So we built our cost structures, our entire team, our technology, our operations, everything, our entire cost structures, assuming that we would have to survive with this couple of pennies as your net revenue. Everything, auto and cabs, everything that you do, for you it's additional. So I would be happy to also tell you that we have achieved a PAT profitability last year.
A PAT profitability.
Yes.
Okay. But what is the path to profitability looking like in terms of your aim? Where do you hope to get when you start now looking at metrics that matter to your key investors?
Yeah. So I think we are definitely we are not operationally burning. We are completely operationally profitable, and like I've said, last year we have achieved PAT profitability.
And now you've entered a space which is all about, you know, cash up in flames. You want to get into delivery and quick commerce.
So for us, entry into this was more a strategic move. We have been doing delivery for almost 6-7 years. We are partnered with the existing food delivery platforms.
Yeah.
And for us, our simple motto is this: how can I ensure that this captain who's coming on my platform earn more? So in the mornings and evenings, obviously there are a lot of people traveling, but in the afternoons and late nights, people are not traveling as much. So how do you still enable him earnings? We said, why don't we partner and deliver their food? So logistics for us is an arm that we see it as an enhancer to the captain's earnings. Yes.
So in one go, let me get this. In one go, Rapido is taking on Ola, Uber, now Swiggy, Zomato, Zepto. Your list of competition is getting longer and longer.
Maybe I'll clarify. We deliver for them.
Yeah. Okay.
So as a logistics player, we deliver for them.
Correct.
So we are competing definitely with the existing players in ride sharing.
Yes.
But like I've said, our bigger competition has always been the offline industry than the players.
Correct.
In terms of Swiggy, in terms of food tech or quick commerce, they are our partners. They are more than
you are
competitors.
a service provider.
We are a logistics service
You don't want to
provider.
get into quick commerce whole hog as a platform at any point.
I think there's definitely a lot of work to be done in ride sharing. Just to give you a perspective, we are currently doing 3.5 million rides, 35 lakh rides a day. But a player in our neighboring country with almost similar population does 30 million, 3 crore rides. Just if you look at the scale, you would immediately realize that you have not even scratched the surface. And that is exactly what we believe.
So focused on ride sharing,
Yes.
focused on, you're already a unicorn, focused on growing bigger and bigger.
Yes.
What's the target revenue number you have in your mind?
I think we'll be growing healthily at 50% year on year consistently. And we are just hoping, along with the growth, we are able to come up with very unique and innovative solutions, both for the top tier markets as well as the tier 2, tier 3, the deeper heartland towns and cities of the country also. Just not bike, auto, car. Which we are not too far, but any other mode that a user is already using, how can we enable it, make it more accessible, more affordable, more convenient for the user to use? We will be more focused on that.
Okay, so exciting times ahead. Eighth time lucky, I would say.
Oh yes.
after sector after sector.
Yes.
And also a little birdie tells me that you even ended up learning Korean
Oh yes.
as part of your job in Samsung.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you use those skills now?
I think so. If we just get back, step back a bit on my entrepreneurship journey, I have actually quit my job while I was on a business trip in Korea. Korea as a country inspires me to have better infrastructure. I've seen the transportation infrastructure over there, and that actually did have an impact on me. That maybe I should come back and do more for my own country so that it can develop faster. So that way, Korea is a bit closer to my heart, and hence Korean.
Yeah, how did you say I quit in Korean? I quit and I'm on to my own journey now. Say something in Korean for us.
Na kumandaseo, na kumandaseo, kumandaseo.
That means I quit.
I quit.
Okay.
I quit.
No. Now you have moved on to another plane and platform. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Pavan. This was
Yeah.
an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thank
Great
you so
to hear
much.
your story. I'm sure inspiring to so many out there.
Yeah.
Started at 22, multiple failures and rejections, but that never say no attitude showing today in the rise of Rapido.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you so much, Tamanna. It's a pleasure being here. I've enjoyed our chat.